क्लेब्यमास्मागमा पार्थ नैतत्त्वयु उपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्त्वा उत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. Today we shall be discussing chapter number 2, shlok number 3 of Bhagavad Gita. The name of the chapter is Contents of Bhagavad Gita Summarized. There are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita, of which there are 700 Sanskrit shlokas. With the endeavor of great saintly people, now this Bhagavad Gita is available in almost 100 plus languages of the world. And this Bhagavad Gita is translated in English by Srila Prabhupada in a devotional way. You see, Bhagavad Gita primarily talks about the relationship between God and living entity and how to establish that relationship and how to live a life in this world in a manner that we don't get entangled with the result of our action or with any other any other thing. So Bhagavad Gita primarily gives us the direction of how to achieve the highest goal of our life, and by following the principles which Sri Krishna is saying, one can very easily cross over this material pool of birth and death. Of course, understanding the birth and death problem, it takes a very higher intelligence. Krishna says, Jaram Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Doshanu Darshanam. That with the philosophy of this higher knowledge, try to see that how this world is permeated with birth, disease, old age, and death. And by following these principles, which I am telling you, Arjuna, which I've also told long before to sun god Vivasvan, Ivam Vivasvate Yogan Praktavahan Avyam, Vivasvan Manve Praya Manurikshvaku Abravit. And Vivasvan, who was a sun god, gave this knowledge to King Ikshvaku of your dynasty long ago. Not Arjuna's dynasty, but Bhagwan Ram's dynasty. Lord Ram's dynasty, Ikshvaku came. So this knowledge is very important. That's what I'm saying. And today, in this verse, stroke number 3, Krishna had started speaking. In the previous verse, we had discussed that who is Bhagwan, who is God. So Sri Krishna is a personal God. He has a personality just like you and me. And why do we have personality? We do have personality because we are part of God. So we have tiny personality, and Krishna is having supreme personality. So everything that living entities are having is because of Krishna. So we have in little quantity and Krishna has in unlimited quantity. So everything comes from Krishna. Do Krishna have pain? He has a different kind of pain, but pain or misery is the result of ignoring Krishna or his advices. So when we turn our back towards God, we see pain. When we see God, we don't see pain. When we walk towards God, we feel pleasure day by day. Our pleasure enhances every day. So the whole idea is understanding the God nicely and loving God nicely and serving God. This is what is the essence of all religion, and especially Vedic religion. So Vedic religion very nicely discusses the concept of God in an unbiased manner. And that is the reason that people who have a scientific approach, logical mind, whenever they come in contact with the principles of Vedas or Bhagavad Gita or Upanishada, they very quickly adopt the devotional principles of life. They very easily understand the ultimate goal of life, and they also understand that why do we have so many paths and why do we have so many other forms of religion existing in this world. So, taking our conversation to the next level, so please do remember that Sri Krishna is speaking. Krishna is God. Everything emanates from him. Maya tatmidam sarvam jagat vyakta murtina. Aham sarvasya prabhu mata sarva pravartate. Krishna says that everything, millions and millions of universes, space, time, living beings, everything comes out of him. So he is the possessor of us. He is the most uh, great well-wisher, highest well-wisher of ours. So what God is saying, that is a great thing for us, and we should take it to the heart completely, and we should put our all energies to obey the Supreme Lord. There are many people who love us, but not as compared to Lord, because people leave us, but God never leaves us. So much so that He lives in our heart. That is the greatness of God. So what I'm trying to tell to my dear friends, that please be very careful and what Krishna is saying. So today he is saying to Arjuna, who has said that I'm not going to fight this battle. How can I fight with my friends? How can I fight my battle with my children, my brothers, my teachers, my uncles, my Guruji, my grandfather? We have learned everything from them. We we respect them. We love them. Krishna, how can will you fight with your grandfather? Will you fight with your father? So Krishna says here to the Arjuna's argument, you see, the most important thing is highest goal. The most important thing is dharma. The most important thing is duty. Whosoever comes in between, whosoever comes to obstruct the highest goal, then if you need to fight, then you have to fight. But with not, uh, jealousy or enmity in the heart. Heart has to be pure, but duty has to be executed. So it's a great thing. Anyway, so Krishna is saying here that, O Parth, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you, it doesn't fit you. Give up such petty weaknesses of the heart and arise, O chastiser of enemy. You are a son of Pritha, Kunti, such a great lady. And how can such weakness enter your heart? You see, we have to understand a principle now. The principle is that this material nature, this material universe where we are living from few years, which we remember, is controlled by the material energy through three invisible powers, which Bhagavad Gita calls by the name of modes. One of them is goodness, sattvagun, second is passion, rajogun, and third is tamas, the mode of ignorance, and the fourth is shuddha sattvagun, the pure devotional mood, which is beyond these three modes of material nature. The fourth one, the pure goodness, is a spiritual mode. So, when goodness enters our heart, we feel very fresh, we feel very positive, and we feel that we to serve people, all those great emotions, evolve in our heart. But when passion enters, we become very competitive, we become very anxious to fulfill our desires, we feel very strong and restless, these kinds of emotion. And third, when mode of ignorance enters in our heart, we feel very morose, we feel very lazy, we feel very upside down. We cannot figure out what is right, what is wrong, and we feel disgusted. We feel mad. So these kind of emotions are the traits of mode of ignorance. So now the mode of ignorance has entered in Arjun's heart. That is the reason he is not able to see what is right, what is wrong, what is to be done, what not to be done. So he is bewildered that what is his duty. Now we can always protect our heart from these negative qualities by practicing spiritual uh, paths, by practicing spiritual principles, and we can always invite mode of pure goodness, the spiritual environment we can create in our hearts. In that way, we'll always feel blissful. So Krishna is saying, you must have a strong heart, Arjuna. How come it enters you? It doesn't suits you. You give up. You give up. Uh, Shudram Hridaya Dorbalyam Tektva. You just give up. Tektva means just to leave it. So how can we leave it? We can leave it by creating a spiritual environment in our heart. And how it will be done? It will be done by understanding what is my highest goal. So by again and again discussing, so if you know what is the highest goal and what is your duty, you see, most of the fights and disagreements and contention which are happening in your house, in your office, in your society is because somebody is not doing their duty correctly. Somebody is not speaking the dutiful words. Something is not right. And what is that right thing? The right thing is that duty thing is the most important. So we have to understand, as a father, what is your duty? As a mother, what is your duty? As a student, as a professional, as a worker, you're a teacher. There can be many obstacles in your administration, in your school. There can be many deficiencies, but yet you're a teacher, and you know it is your duty to serve 8 hours wholeheartedly, and that service is not for any person. Actually, that service is received by the Lord. So that attitude has to be developed. And in that way, adopting higher principles, you make your heart strong. Swami Vivekananda, one of my favorite saints of modern India, he says a very wonderful thing. He says, anything that makes you weak, just reject it. Anything that makes you weak is not religion. So, whenever we feel low, understand that mode of darkness has entered you, mode of ignorance has entered you. So, you just chant the name of God, chant the name of Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, and you keep positive association, and then you can very well then see that how you can always overcome such petty things in your life. So Krishna is saying, Arjuna, that you wake up and you make your heart strong and ready for fight. Now Arjuna will give you some higher arguments of not fighting, which Krishna will which Krishna will clear out with his divine instructions. Remember, these instruction, this knowledge is not knowledge of the world. This knowledge is coming from the spiritual world. This knowledge is related with soul, super soul, and the higher truth. Once you have this knowledge, you can very easily cross over the material existence of pain, misery, birth, death, old age, everything. You will get all the answers of all the questions which possibly can be by understanding this divine knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. So, my dear friends, I request you that you must buy a copy of Bhagavad Gita and read it and carefully listen to these talks I'm trying my best to serve you in this manner. And if you have any question, you can always ask in the comment section. We will try to reply you as much as we can. So wishing you a very great life ahead. Hare Krishna.